Good evening. My name is Lauren Sommerfeld. I'm a teacher at Kosminski Community Academy, and I would like to share with you a letter written by one of our students. Dear Barbara Byrne Bennett, please do not close Kosminski Community Academy. This school is important to me. My grandma and my mom graduated from here. When I am older, I want to bring my kids here. This is my school. It's like a second home. That's just one of many excerpts that I could have chosen from. I've been a teacher at Kosminski for the past 5 years, and I have gone through the extreme transition with many of my colleagues and students, having experienced the chaos of the past to the current stability of today. In the year and a half that our new administration has been in place, the school has begun to run like a well-oiled machine. The instability of the transition prior to our principal's arrival was extremely upsetting to our students. Many of our students come from challenging home lives, so another enormous change would simply be a crime. My personal experience as a teacher at Kosminski has gone from one extreme to the other. In the past, teachers did not feel free to invite outside resources or partnerships to enhance our school curriculum. Presently, we feel empowered by our administration to explore our craft in ways that completely heighten our students' educational journeys. We now have a variety of committees in which teachers are actively involved in. One such committee is PBIS, and the implementation and effect has been extraordinary. With the behavior changing and the instruction being enhanced, there is no doubt our data will demonstrate increases in student achievement. Kosminski was finally given the blessing of a hardworking, serious administrative team who essentially just got started. It would be premature to close our doors now. If given the time, CPS would be extremely proud to see the changes we are making to become one of the top schools in the city.
Good evening. I'm Stephen D. Bournet, the proud principal of the William J. and Charles H. Mayo Elementary School. This school year, we celebrate 50 years of community presence and academic excellence in the Bronzeville community. And on behalf of the Mayo family, I stand before you to make my appeal. Standing behind me, those who've come before have led the way, former principals and community leaders. We wanted to tell you our story this evening. You have the numbers of our students enrolled, but we have the names of those students, present and past, who have excelled. You have the figures of our performance, but we have the faces of our children, whom we see every day, who I greet in the hallway every morning. You have the statistics of utilization, but we have the stories, past and present, of our students. I just want to share one story in particular. I pass a young lady every day on the corner of Oakland and Cottage, an 8th grade female student standing on the bus stop on her way to Mayo, her second home. This young lady of a single parent home lost her mother last year, but the teachers and administration and staff made sure that her 7th grade year, an important year, was not impacted by providing a stable environment. For many of our students, Mayo is more stable than their homes. And in the midst of all, at the end of the day, midst of tragic loss and violence in our community, we beseech you to continue to let Mayo be that second home that provides stability so our students can continue to excel for 50 years and more.
I'm Gary Crawford. I'm a white boy from Canada, okay? Community. I ain't going away. This is community. We got principals here, Fred and Nadine, and of course our leader you just heard from, over 20 years representing, okay? CPS started Principal for a Day program. We ran it always at Mayo successfully. CPS program. The Negro League Museum, literally in Chicago, the only one, not at DeSable, nowhere else, because they stepped up, and along with Ray Knox, a former catcher, we got it at Mayo Elementary School. 2 hours of live WGN programming at Mayo Elementary School. The numbers, even the numbers, you take a look at the numbers, they're all pretty good. Okay, a little struggle, a little kick in the ass, they'll move up. It's community, look at him. You know how many principals are here in this audience? Not the real principals, I'm talking here, the teachers. Literally, you guys can check the marks, you'll know. They can all become principals tomorrow, okay? We ain't going away. The school is not closing. Just because you call something charter, that doesn't mean it's God's gift, okay? The reality, I'm giving you reality. The building's now falling apart, the classes are full, and they got an awesome staff. What more do you want? That's the school I want to go to. That's public school that I grew up in. That's all I want to know. Community, Mayo Elementary.
Again, Murray, National Teachers, Overton, Pershing.
Good evening, my name is Kimberly Henderson and I am the principal of Irvin C. Mollison Elementary School. I am here today to talk about the things that you cannot see on paper. We are a growing school. We are currently at 67% of our students meeting and exceeding standards. However, that's not good enough for us. We are currently growing in all areas. According to the NWEA data, which our students just completed 2 weeks ago, 82% of our students are meeting their growth targets in math. 55% of our students are meeting their growth targets in reading. We are well on our way to being a level 2 school. But that's not the real reason that I'm here, because many of the schools in our area and in our network are also growing and doing great things. And so I could make the argument for all of the schools that are represented today that they should not be closed, because we're all on the way up. But what I would like to talk about is the things that you cannot see. They say that our school is underutilized, but I have 36 students in 5th grade. I have 34 students in 4th grade. I have 35 students in 7th grade. I have 31 students in kindergarten. And so those are the things that you cannot see on paper. What you also cannot see is what we do with the space that we do have. We have partnered with Joffrey Ballet, so my students get ballet classes twice a week, free of charge, because we have the space to do that. We have partnered with Centers for New Horizons, so 4 days a week after school programming, we not only offer academics, but we also offer cooking classes. We offer martial arts classes. We offer college awareness classes after school. These are the things that we are able to do because we have the space to provide those opportunities for our parents and students who do not get it. I'll leave you with one more thing. On Friday, we looked at our data, and my charge to my teachers, are we a gap closing school? We are on our way to closing the achievement gap. And one of the articles that we read talked about, is it an achievement gap or an opportunity gap? And I would suggest to you that it is an opportunity gap, and that's why we're here to give our students an opportunity. Thank you.
My name is Jeanette Taylor-Smith, and I'm the local school council chair at Mollison Elementary, and I'm also a parent leader with the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization. I want to piggy off of what Alderman Dahl said. Don't close any schools. I don't have to sit here and say don't close Mollison, don't close Mayo, don't close Robinson, don't close any of these schools. You all see what happens when you close schools there and now. But my question is, why they arrested those folks, why wasn't anybody at CPS arrested too? Because you all created that mess. And I'm tired of parents, students, and community have to clean up CPS's mess. And at the end of the day, while you all are talking about utilization and data, this is not about school improvement. It has nothing, I haven't heard none of you all say anything about school improvement. It's about money, digits, it's about data. We're tired of that. These are our schools. You all forget you work for us, we don't work for you. If every parent in here took their kids out, where will you all work?
Up next, 2 representatives from Pershing, Ray, Revis, Robinson.
Good evening. My name is Angelique Jones. I'm a third grade teacher at Overton Elementary School. I was once a product of Overton School and Diet and DuSable. I live right in this neighborhood. Not only am I a teacher at Overton, but I am empowering minds of future leaders right there at Overton School. I am a National Board Certified teacher, and I'm a 1991 Golden Apple Scholar. Now, we're here because our school is not really underutilized. We have rooms available for our students so that they can go for additional tutoring in order for them to be impacted for the future. So I'm here to represent the school where I once attended, and I'm teaching there now, and I'm proud of it. As I walk into the school every single day, I get greeted by a student because I enjoy walking through those doors, and those students enjoy seeing the teachers because we are a family at Overton Elementary School.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Armstrong. I'm now serving as the assistant principal at Overton School. I've served for 19 years, and I do mean service, because at Anthony Overton Elementary School, we are a family. The numbers don't show on this paper the 26% gains we've made in math, the 14% gains we've made in science in the last 3 years, the 57% gains in literacy. Overton School is a family school yesterday, today, and forevermore. Yesterday, we had Will Bynum and also Ms. Jones and other community activists that have attended Overton School and have thrived. And they come back and tell us about the love and care that we've shown them. Today, we have some of the most creative, innovative students that you'd want to see anywhere. And for yesterday, for forevermore, our students continue to face violence and dysfunction. But they know when they come to Overton that they will see someone who cares about them. I'd like for everyone from Overton to stand, please. You see before you family, you see staff, you see community leaders, you see parents. And we will forever say that we care about our students and we want them to do the best. Please don't close Overton School. Thank you.
I wanted to just thank those who have made comments thus far, and to invite groups or individuals from the groups that have spoken, if they would please participate in our breakout session so we can continue to have a conversation led by the Deputy Chief within the network, Mr. Pruitt. If you would just kindly follow it, Mike McGahee and others will be leading individuals to participate in those. If you've already spoken, we need to continue to have a discussion with you. For those who have not yet spoken, we will continue to take your comment. We are just offering the opportunity to continue to have more granular discussion in the workout session if you choose to participate, okay? Mike is right here. For those who would like to participate, you can quietly walk out of that door. If not, we will continue. Of course, we'll continue to take your comment to the end. I also understand Alderman Cochran from the 20th Ward is here. If he would just stand and be recognized. Alderman Cochran. All right, well, we'll make sure we take that.
Hello. Hi, my name is Michelle Webb, and I'm a nationally board certified teacher at Ray School. As a second grade teacher with 33 students in my room, I truly find it hard to believe that my school fits anyone's definition of being underutilized. Nevertheless, it does, and I accept that. As a staff member, I have to say that I am terrified of my successful school being closed. I am, however, equally terrified of Hart, Fisk, Kosminski, or any Burnham Park Network school closing. The resources of all of our schools are already spread extremely thin. By closing any of our schools, our thin resources will be pushed to the breaking point. Please take this decision seriously. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Gordon Mayer. I'm the chair of the local school council at Ray School. Mr. Price, Mr. Hampton. So I'm not going to take even 2 minutes, and I don't have a lot to add to what our teacher, Ms. Webb, said. But, you know, I mean, nobody is going to come. We all love our schools because each of us really, the schools, each of us makes a community at our school. And the money that we're talking about here, it's about the CPS money that you're looking to save. I really think that this is about the money, and I think there are a lot of people in the room right now who are frustrated because it's hard to talk when you don't get to have a conversation. So I just would strongly encourage you guys to come back and communicate and even over-communicate as you figure out what the plans are, and let us have some clear voice in the decisions that affect our schools.
Hello.
Good evening. First, I'd like to say thank you to all of the individuals who are here representing Pershing West. In 2004, I approached 4 individuals about writing a proposal to start a new school. The Renaissance 2010 program was soliciting proposals to open new schools. Today, in 2013, Pershing West, home of the Monarchs, is 8 years old. During our short history, we have made history. We were the first champions of the Having a Ball ballroom dance program. We were the first and only middle school within the city of Chicago, in the city of Chicago, to offer an archery program. We have 3 Drive Award winners, 1 Golden Apple Teacher of Distinction and a winner, and hordes of other accolades that we could share. Speaking of our students, one of our graduates battling and surviving cancer is embodying our motto to nurture a society of leaders by attempting to open Bria's Cafe, a service provided to parents of children hospitalized and needing meals. We believe that we are making a difference. We know that our building is not fully utilized. In fact, when we started, it was with this knowledge that we would share a school. We're not asking for anything in addition. All we're asking for is to be invited to the table when the decisions are made about who would join us in that building. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Phil, and all the parents from Pershing. I've been a member of the Pershing LSC, working with the school for the last 8 years, on LSC at King for the past 8 to 12 years. And I'm here to support the principal, the school. We would like to be at the table. We're making decisions. We do have a plan for how the school can be maximized in terms of use. And we have a plan that would go with improving the educational outcomes of the kids who would participate in this process with us. So we come to you with a plan that we're willing to work with you in implementing. We want to be at the table when this conversation comes, and we're also here to support our friend, Alderman Pat Dow, and Alderman Willie Cochran, who have also been supportive of us. So thank you.
My name is Philandra Amick. I'm from Revis Elementary, and currently local school council there and parent. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. We're not, underutilized. We do have after-school programs. Currently, we just have another after-school program that we are using our space for. and along with future plans for the next school year, as well with science lab. With the scores that I'm looking at on the paper here, they're failing because they have no resources. All of these schools don't have the resources that they need to succeed. Instead of you all opening all these charter schools, with that money you all use to open those schools, you could have gave them to us so we could use the money for our kids. We need resources too. And there's no proof, in fact, that a charter school is better than an elementary school. So I do ask that you all not close Reeves Elementary. We do have talented, bright students at our school. They do not deserve to be treated like slaves, transporting them to this school, that school.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gail King, and I'm the principal of Revis Elementary. I've been at Revis for the last 7 months, and I'd like to thank Ms. Philandra Amick for coming and speaking on behalf of Revis as well. We have many things to offer at Revis, a clinic that serves our students as well as our community, a community schools program, an after-school program that offers everything from healthy cooking to hip-hop. We have programming that happens throughout the day to provide students with interventions and also to provide enrichment. But it's about more than that. It's about the child who knows that he has a place where he belongs. It's about the parent who, after having a very stressful thing happen in their life, knowing that they have a place that they can go and someone will understand and someone will help them. A neighborhood school is part of the community, it's part of the family, and that's what Revis is. I have a student who transferred out 2 weeks ago who returned to us on today. His mother said he was in tears. Mama, please take me back to Revis. Please take me back. That's my home. And that's what we want for our children. We want them to have a home. We want them to have a place where they know that they belong. Of course, we are improving academically. NWEA scores are showing a 4% gain across school-wide. In 4th grade, more than 75% of students are meeting their growth targets. But more than that, it's more than about academics. It's about educating the whole child, making the child know that they are important and that people care about them. So Revis Elementary is a place that, sure, it says we're 37% utilized, but we are 100% utilized because we're offering our students wraparound services each and every day and providing a dedicated parent room so that our parents can do resumes, they can search for jobs, they can work to help make Revis a better place. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening.
Good evening. My name is Keneal Rule. I'm representing Robinson Elementary School. I'm a local school chair, vice chair. I've been on the council for 22 years. The issue is not closing our schools. The issue is the input that we don't have when you make decisions. You're making decisions down at 124 that affects all of our communities. It's funny, the west side and the south side schools are being closed, but no schools on the north side are being closed. My problem with that is their schools are having issues. The big issue here is you're trying to privatize public schools in the neighborhood. And everybody here can say something good about their school, but you're not listening. All you're listening to is the dollars and the people that make their decisions for you. The issue here is it should be a moratorium on all school closings in the city of Chicago until you all get that mess straightened up that you made. Because if you got my decision, you should be let go.
I'm the chair of Jackie Robinson. So when you all say parents don't participate and parents don't care about their kids, I'm on 2 different local school councils. The late great Mayor Harold Washington, he had it right. He said in order for our schools to get anywhere, you need to have local accountability. So he started local school councils. And for 8 straight years, the scores in these schools went up. 125 South Clark need to do what it do best, and that's paperwork.
We'd like to ask Alderman Cochran to come up and speak. And we'd like to cue Ross, Sexton, Shoesmith, South Loop, and Till.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out to voice your opinion. I've heard some strong opinion, and I've been to a number of these hearings, and many of the hearings, all of the hearings are saying the same thing. Keep our schools open. Do not close any of our schools. And it's through your voice that we hope that we can deliver these messages. It seems as though everybody is distrusting of the process. Distrusting of the process because the process has not been a process that they can be comfortable with in the everyday experience that is taking place right now. We don't want to point fingers to YouTube, but we do want to point fingers to the process. Case in point, Ross is behind me, and we have another school sexton in the 20th Ward that is right here. But we have other schools. Carter is down the street. Carter, we know, has 41 children in the first grade classroom. 41. We know that early childhood education is the most important part of a child's education. If we can't get a classroom of 41 children stabilized and divide them up so that they can get the appropriate education, then there is a problem with how the CPS currently is evaluating the schools and the needs of our children in our schools. We have a school over in Inglewood, Kershaw. Kershaw Elementary is a Tier 1 school, has arts programs, and that school has 200 seats available according to the CPS standards. Well, it is a magnet school, and we cannot get busing to that school. I've been trying for 3 years under the current program. 3 years to try and get busing to a school where we can get 200 more children to as a magnet and can deliver excellent education. If we can't get our kids to a school that delivers education just through busing, how can we trust the program as it extends in the future? And so those are just a couple of examples. I don't want any of my schools in the 20th Ward closed. We are working with these schools. We are getting private investment in these schools. And we are doing everything that we can to make them further utilized. We got the Boys and Girls Club making a home in one of our schools. We got Norfolk and Southern making donations to our school. We have Related Capital making donations and making capital improvements in our schools. We are working to bring other resources to schools in the 20th Ward, and we want them to stay open. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be fighting for this to the very bitter end. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman.
Good evening. My name is Renetta Wards, and I'm the assistant principal at Betsy Ross Elementary School. I represent, on behalf of our proud principal, Dr. Shabazz, and the staff, the parents, the kids, and everyone else. We are a pillar in this community. We are the safe haven of this neighborhood. Our students cannot and will not cross 59th Street in fear of their lives. And so you need to take that into consideration before closing our schools. Our Boys and Girls Club, just down the street, has been closed. So therefore, we are the new Boys and Girls Club. The recreational facilities in the neighborhood, when you leave here and you pass by on King Drive, has been dismantled. Our children cannot play ball. Sports like basketball, where all it costs is a ball. They're not fortunate to play hockey and baseball and those things. Tennis and basketball is all we have, and those facilities have been dismantled. When you come to Betsy Ross, you will see a staff that comes early, work hard, and they leave late. We develop Daniel Murphy Scholars at Betsy Ross. We are supported by Chicago Cares, the Corporate Executive Board, and many, many more. We have world-renowned Joffrey Ballet Bridge program at our school. Our students, our first grade and second grade girls speak French. They twirl their tutus and point at their ballet shoes. We have 2 state-of-the-art computer labs, one for reading and one for math. We have full-day librarian, art, gym, small kindergarten classes, preschool programs. And I'm sorry, our school never closes. every day of the week, Betsy Ross is open. So before you close Betsy Ross, the doors are always open now, 7 days a week, 24 hours if need be. In March, when you make that decision, make sure we're not on that list to be closed. Thank you very much.
Turn my back, but I'm gonna do this. I am a parent. I'm the secretary of the PAC at Betsy Ross School. I've been in this community for 46 years. In this community, Betsy Ross, my grandmother, my mother, now me, I graduated from Ross in '81. These are my kids, they there. If I take them away, they're gonna cry. We love Betsy Ross. I wanna ask one question. What school on the north side needs $17 million to do an update? One school. What school on the north side? If you close down Ross, you might as well give me a tent. I'm going on the roof. I'm going on the roof. Please, do not close down my school of Betsy Ross. I'm going on the roof. That's all that matters. I'm going.
Good evening, I'm from Emmett Till. Used to be my car school. We used to have over 1,000 kids at our school, and I hope please don't close our school because we have good teachers. We have a new principal, an assistant principal, and they are very good. The teachers are wonderful. Please don't close Till. It's the largest school in Woodlawn, so please do not close our school. We've been the best. Our kids, they're looking forward to be at Till to graduate. Children, grandchildren, I have kids that graduate. I have grandchildren that graduate from Till. It's a good neighborhood, but please do not close Till Makash, please.
My name is Jacqueline Dudley. I am the LSC chair from Emmett Till, where Mr. Asiami is our principal, Ms. Travis is our assistant principal. We have excellent programs at Till. We have System 44, we have Read 180. We have excellent teachers that are there from the time that the doors open at 7 until whenever the last child leaves. I ask you that you all speak about the underutilized school, but my question to you is, could you please go back and revisit the numbers that you have for those schools that you charge to be underutilized? I also ask you to go back and revisit the safety issues when you are regarding yourself as closing the schools. Please, Emmett Till has been in the community for a long time. It is a generation school. It is a school where parents, grandparents, parents that have graduated, alumni, come back and dedicate their time and their services to Emmett Till. They want their children to graduate from Emmett Till. It is a community-based school. We have an excellent parent program. We have community organizations with several collaborations in the community. So I ask you all to reconsider when you think about closing Emmett Till. Thank you.
Again, we're going to call Shoesmith, South Loop, Wadsworth, Wells, Williams, Middle, Williams Elementary.
Good evening, I am Nicole Monroe, principal at Sexton Elementary, home of future college graduates. And it's not just something we wear on our shirts and on our jackets and something our kids speak. It's something we truly, truly believe. Our enrollment has increased since July 1st to over, we've had added 100 additional students. So we have the fastest growing population of schools in Woodlawn. And every day, despite the 8 gang factions that our students have to get through, every day, despite the homicides, having the largest numbers of homicides in the Woodline area that surrounds Sexton, our students are coming to school. Our attendance is over 95% now, and our students are coming every day. We're open from 6 a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m., providing parent programs, GED courses. We have our parent involvement has increased. We have over 20 volunteers that volunteer for us every day. We have pre-engineering and reading programs and after-school programs, because college awareness is just not what we do, it's where we live. Our goal is to become the premier college awareness elementary school in the district. It's unheard of. No one else is preparing students for college in pre-K. We have the only college and career specialist in elementary school, and no matter how old they are, our students know what college is and where they're going. Every day, we work. Every day, because our motto is every day is training day, we work to make sure our babies are prepared to go to college. So today, our staff prepared 380 students to go to college. We know what our 1-year, 5-year, and 10-year plan is. Next year, our 8th graders will be freshmen in high school. 5 years from now, they will be freshmen in college. 5 years beyond that, they will be coming back as college graduates, because we gave them the foundation that they need. You can't close Sexton. We are a staple in the community, over 100 years strong. We are grandmothers, 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 grandmothers strong. We represent Woodline.
Hello, I'm the LSC chair of Sexton School, as well as the acting PAC president. Okay, my time started on. Anyway, I'm not just, I am a product of Sexton, and the important things to me is the fact that underutilization is not really a word that is commonly heard of. When you think of underutilization, you need to think about the community, whether the community is underutilized, because it's not. The parents that are there, the students that are there are going to these community schools. We need to protect our community, because we cannot afford to have an empty building in any of these communities. None of them. Look what happens when you have an empty building. Crime rate goes up. Drugs happen. And we cannot afford that. So I'm asking you to not just think about only Sexton, but the community as a whole. Woodline community, our area schools. I especially know that Sexton is going to be safe, because I already prayed for it, and God answers my prayers. So I know Sexton is going to be okay. So I'm asking for all the surrounding schools to be protected as well. Think about the utilization of the community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angelique Harris, and I'm a parent at Wells Preparatory Academy. And first, I just want to point out, based on utilization and the numbers that have been presented, I just want to point out the discrepancies that have been put out there about Wells Preparatory Academy. As of December 5th, 2012, the data that was presented to the Utilization Commission showed Wells Prep at a utilization rate of 73%. As of January 24th, 2013, that number has went down to 51%. Now, the 73% from walking our classrooms and being able to point out which class is which, the 73% made sense to us, and we went with that. Now, as of the 24th of January, we show that our utilization has went down to 51%. That makes no sense to us. Second of all, it shows the number to maintain our school is $600,000 less than the high school that we co-locate with. Phillips has the first, second, and third floor. We maintain the first floor 1/2, one L shape, and we are $600,000 less to maintain than they are. I mean, that is ludicrous. The very exact schools that CPS talks about, the existing or wanting to have schools co-locate, that's what we do, and we do it well. This school should not be considered if that's the cost-efficient way that you're doing schools in order for schools to exist. The fact that we're constantly coming up on lists being underutilized in a high school that's severely underutilized is ridiculous. We just want to point out the great things that are happening at Wells Prep, and those things need to be pointed out. The high NWEA scores, the new principal that we have, the dynamic things that we're doing, those things need to be pointed out. The numbers are not the truth, and we want those things to be reflected the correct way. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dorothy Crawley. I'm not only a teacher at Wells Prep Elementary, I'm also the union representative and a product of the Burnham Network. I just have one question for you. I would like to know, how is it that you can put a price tag on our students' future? You know that you're bartering away their futures. Wells Prep is a safe, caring environment with a low turnaround rate for teachers. Yes, we are a small school, but we are a family. We're not just educating students, we are providing stability for generations of families. Just this year, we've acquired a new principal, Mr. Jeffrey White, and within this last year, Wells Prep has finally received a new computer lab, new textbooks. I said new textbooks for every student in our school. We have increased in our NWEA test scores, and did I mention that Wells Prep is a safe environment? In collaboration with Phillips High School, we are establishing a cradle-to-college model where students remain in a nurturing environment with teachers who care, love for them, and protect them and understand them. They keep telling us that our school is underutilized, but it's not. We're actually utilizing our school in the correct way as a breeding ground for our students' futures. We have a parent room, we have science labs, we have stations for our nurses and our social workers. We have chess club, wrestling, basketball, 3 after-school programs ran by Centers for New Horizons, Ada S. McKinley, and our own staff. We love our students, and our students love us. You say that you're going to close us, but you're not. We're not accepting that. I greet you with the holy word, unacceptable.
Good evening. On behalf of Wadsworth School, my name is Dwayne Turner. I'm the proud assistant principal of Wadsworth School, and I'm very, very honored to represent our staff and parents and students tonight on behalf of Wadsworth School. Words alone not express my passion for the work that we do at Wadsworth School. It is just so important, and we work so hard at it. Our school is open morning, noon, and night. Our school is open on Saturdays. We come early, we stay late. I'm sure our story is not different than any other school that's represented here tonight. But I'm so passionate about the work that we do at our school. I'm not asking for the decision makers not to close our school. I'm here to state that I'm willing to fight until the end to keep our school open. Wadsworth School is a pillar in the community. We've been around for 100 years. We just had a Wadsworth reunion last June, and our auditorium, both the balcony and the main level, was packed with grandparents, uncles, different generations going all the way back to the 50s, and these are people that are successful and have gone on to own businesses. The other reason I'm here tonight is to state that as a parent, a CPS parent, as a taxpayer, as a homeowner, I'm not in agreement with this. I have a role and responsibility as a constituent to say that enough is enough. When I think of the fact that my hard-earned tax dollars are going to destroy the communities that I live in, it's not just about Wadsworth School. It's about every school in this auditorium. It's about every school across this city. I have 3 teenagers, and the quality of life, and I see school closings as being a centerpiece of that, has gone down so much that my children can no longer go outside. When I think of that girl from King High School that died last week, I see my daughter. And so this is a fight until the end to stabilize our communities and to keep our schools open, but not only to keep them open, but to make sure that they start getting some real resources and some real support. And finally, the last thing I want to say is that the school utilization report is a fabrication. Our school is fully utilized. Why? Because we share space with a partner, Urban Education Institute. And each year we have to sit down. Each year we have to sit down with that school and make sure that all the space is utilized. 3 years ago, they took our 6th, 7th, 8th grade because we were overcrowded. So I don't understand how you can make a decision that's going to better the lives of children that's based on a falsehood. That does not sound like a movement to me that's worth getting behind. Thank you.
I'd like to call up Woodlawn and Woodson.
My name is Pamela Jernigan, and I am the LSC chairperson of Wadsworth School in the Woodlawn community. Dr. King famously stated, "Intelligence plus character. That is the true goal of education." We must always keep that in mind and be careful of the messages that we send to our children in light of the apparent tactics that are being used to close schools and advance hidden agendas. Contrary to popular belief, Wadsworth School is not underutilized. We share space with the University of Chicago Charter School and have done so for the past several years. And sharing space is no easy challenge. Because we are in underfunded public schools, similar to those of you represented here tonight, our shared space has been a prime example of the haves and the have-nots. Despite many challenges incurred because of CPS's ineffective decision-making and a lack of quality support, Wadsworth students made gains on the ISAT last year, with 72% of our third graders meeting standards in reading and 84% meeting standards in math. I am proud to say that my son, a current fourth grader, has been attending Wadsworth since kindergarten and earned a perfect score of 99% in reading and an outstanding score of 97% in math last year. This indicates to me that my Wadsworth family and I must be doing something right. Our student achievements can be attributed to dedicated parents who relentlessly volunteer, student recognition and motivation celebrations, after-school programs that are even taught by our principal, the hard work of our teachers who are often seen working past school hours. Despite the hard work put into these team efforts, some continue to have their minds and pockets set on closing our school. It takes a sincere heart and true dedication to spend your life effectively serving the needs of others. Love and dedication has allowed parents, teachers, administrators, and staff to work together and accomplish all the good things happening at Wadsworth School. CPS, I am putting you on level 3. I am going to end with a quote from famed civil rights lawyer and children's advocate Marion Wright Edelman: "If we don't stand up for children, then we don't stand for much."
Okay.
Good evening. I'm the Reverend Maurice Coverson. I am a partner with Williams Elementary School. I'm also representing Senator Maddie Hunter this evening, and I am with the Institute for Positive Living. And I want to start out by saying that all our children are capable of learning, and they are all smart if we give them the opportunity. Williams Elementary School is said to be underutilized, but we have no space. What is that about? We have urban prep there who's taking up the space and getting more and more classrooms, and our kids are being pushed out, but yet we are underutilized. John, I look forward to walking through that building with you again. We need to have you to look at this process again and look at our students. And I want to say to you that closing our schools are not the answer. And what has happened while our schools on level 3 is that you have closed schools and those kids have gone to our schools who have not been proficient, and so it has brought scores down at our schools. But our kids can learn. So we want the opportunity for our kids to have that opportunity to learn. And we also want our school back. We want kids to have space. Our kids, I want to say, I know I have 1 minute, but I want to say, our kids have lunch at 10:30. What is that about? They just get there. And you know they're going to be hungry, but because urban prep is in our school, our kids have to have lunch at 10:30. So that's not feasible. So then they stay there until 4:35 now with the after-school program. They're going to be hungry. So you all need to look at your program, look at it closely, and look at all the schools, and leave no child behind in this community.
Good evening. I am Teresa Rhea, and I am the principal of Williams Middle School, but I am representing both Williams Elementary and Williams Middle School. We board asked us to do about 3 years ago, and they said if you bring urban prep in, you won't have to worry about your school, because right now you have all this space, and with urban prep coming in, which is an all-boys school, you don't have to worry about your name being on a list again. Guess whose name is on the list again? Our first period lunch, like Reverend Coverson said, the first graders have to eat lunch at 10:30 in the morning when they just had breakfast at 8:45. Our last lunch period is at 2 o'clock, and that means the lunchroom is not used by anything else but for lunch during that time. So we cannot use it for anything else. I had a private partner that promised to teach our children to become computer hackers. We had the space then because they tell me the U.S. government has hundreds of millions of hackers into government programs each year. That private funder was going to teach our children to hack into a private network so that they could become working for government programs in the future. Now we don't have the space to do that. Utilization means that our children are now 30, 31 in a classroom. Our eighth graders are 35 in a classroom, and fifth graders. We are considered to be still underutilized. When does it end?
We're going to open up for public comment until they remove us from this building. Ms. Nona Burnham from the Bronzeville CAC. Oh, right now we're calling you Ms. Nona Burnham from the Bronzeville CAC. Is she still here? Here you go. We'll get to you.
Good evening. The first thing I want to say is this is a statement that the Bronzeville Community Action Council has made. Historically, our schools in Bronzeville have been disproportionately impacted by school actions. Therefore, the Bronzeville Community Action Council is opposed to any actions that result in any more of our children being left behind. After listening to all of the evidence that was shared by the schools today, the only thing I can say is that they're telling the truth. When we think about the utilization process that was determined, 1 to 30, that's not appropriate for kindergarten. It's not appropriate for first grade, second grade, preschool. Best practices shows that classrooms in the early years should be no more than 15 or 20 children. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this, that utilization formula is really based on how much the state will reimburse the district per teacher, not about education. It's been good to hear from parents tonight and teachers and principals about what schooling really should be. And my last question, and this is, where is the master plan that should come before any utilization decision?
Ms. Stephanie Gadal from CTU. Stephanie Gardner, Ms. Nina Loam from WCPC. No? Okay. You want to come up? 2 minutes.
Thank you for allowing me. I want to say that Mayo Elementary has been part of the process since 2003. We're not worried about boundaries games. We have taken children in every year, and we couldn't cherry pick. We had to take them where they were and bring them up to the high standards of Mayo. The teachers are high quality. Every last one of the teachers have the ability to be principals, but they chose to stay. They've got type 75s, they've got doctoral, and they are hard-working teachers. So it's not about the money. Obviously, they're passionate, and they will give that passion to any child that comes to 249 East 37th Street. They have an open door policy. No teacher can hide behind mediocrity. It is not allowed. We help each other. We go through the changes. If you need help, you are not isolated. So bring them on. Our doors will be open and we will work. I was retired. I will come out of retirement and help my school get back to where they need to be. Nadine Delanato, former principal of Mayo Elementary.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Price. Good evening, Mr. Phillip. Good evening, Miss. Thank you for being here, hearing us. My name is Olga. By the way, it means blessed. So I really feel blessed to represent Drake School and represent all of you beautiful people who came for the same reason, the future of our kids. Today, I'm here to talk not only about the Drake like a school, but Drake like a family, like a community, like a neighborhood. Because you know, Mr. Price, that our school is in the Brunswick neighborhood, but there are kids who have come from many different neighborhoods. So in Drake, we make our Drake neighborhood, we make our family, we make our kids love themselves, understand and be proud about themselves. Because we strongly believe if each of these kids receive peace and love in our school and take this peace and love to their families, the life be better. Because we are in the same chain. Happy kid, happy family, happy neighborhood, happy community. We don't ask about do not close a school. We ask don't close a home for these kids. Thank you.
Hello. I know a lot of you are leaving, but my name is Anita Orlikoff, and I'm a graduate of Bret Harte and Kenwood Public Schools, and I was an elected community representative of the very first local school council at Murray Language Academy. I speak today to the needs of the wider community. Publicly educating our children is the bedrock of our society, nationally, statewide, citywide, and we feel it right here in our communities. It is, I will be charitable, misleading to say that there is a deficit school budget and set up schools as though they are in competition begging for scarce resources. There is a direct connection between resource-starved, so-called underutilized schools and the taxes we end up paying for our grossly overutilized prisons. The social costs cannot begin to be calculated, but in strict dollars, we pay at least $55,000 a year for each prisoner in Sam's solitary confinement. Try to imagine a world where we care enough to spend that on our public education. I can't begin to cover this in 2 minutes. please start by reading The New Jim Crow. Business is profiting from the USA's astounding incarceration rate, unheard of in any other country in the free world. And now business is looking at our public schools and seeing them as a fresh source of profits. Notice our non-elected Chicago Public School Board is full of business people, not educators. And our community schools are being starved and systematically replaced by private corporate-run schools that do not have LSCs or union representation. There may be a place for business, but our children are not widgets. Corporate number crunching is not true education, and we are here to say that public education is not for sale.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ronald Jackson, NAACP meeting. What I'm here to let you know is the reason that these people are here is because of the Chicago Educational Task Force. This is the task force that went to Springfield to force them to have these meetings so they would not have no more paid-to-play protesters coming out and say this school needs to be closed. So for anyone who wants to go to the meeting is on February the 9th at 10 to 12 at 5848 South Princeton. Now, what they did not tell you is the person who is making the decision to close the school is not even an educator. It's on the board website. He's not even an educator who's making the decision to close public school. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll resign from the LSC and the NAACP, but can none of these board people tell you that I'm wrong? Number two, 5,000 homeless kids was misplaced by the board, and we was at a task force hearing when we asked them about those students. They said they didn't even know where they was at. If I'm wrong, I resign from the LSC and the NAACP. Ask any of them, and I'm telling the truth. They're not going to answer that question for you. They're not going to answer because you know why? Bennett told them not to answer. Number two, why have Bennett not met with the Chicago? Why have Bennett have not met with the Chicago Educational Task Force? They tried to meet with Bazar 3 times, and he was running like a scared cat. She had time to go to radio station, but she would not come out and meet with us. She is doing this, she said, transparent. Why don't they tell people that the board is in court, still in court, to remove themselves from the Corey H. Act, the law that helps special ed kids? They're not going to tell you that. Ask any of them, is the board going to court? If I'm telling them, if I'm not real, I resign from the LSC and the NAACP. It's already documented, that's why they won't say nothing. Ask them, see where they say anything.
Hi, I'm David Orlikoff from the Chicago Teachers Solidarity Campaign. The Board of Education is lying to us, obviously. The Mayor of Chicago is lying to us, obviously. You came here asking for information. What you heard is that the community doesn't want any schools closed. Also, what people said is that stability is the #1 important thing in our communities, in our schools. That is the one thing that CPS cannot give us. Why have you had 5 CEOs in 2 years? You know, why? Because the mayor's always trying to pull a fast one on us, trying to get something over on the community, trying to devalue things. All right, so CPS is lying. Number one, they said they have $1 billion deficit. That's not true. They spent that money on charter schools. They had a surplus. They just released a week ago their actual financial report, their audit. CPS has to do an audit. They just declare in a press release, we have $1 billion deficit, and the Tribune prints it, but there's no proof, and it's a lie. They had an audit. They have a $500 million surplus. They are liars. You cannot trust one word they say. Number two, they say we are underutilized. That is a lie. They said they lost 1,000 students between the 2000 and 2010 census. That is a lie. WBEZ reported their lies, showing there was only a 6% reduction, and meanwhile, they built about 50 schools in that same time. Number three, they said that was under-enrolled. They said we're underutilized, but that's a lie because their formula does not account for special education classrooms. We are legally required by state and federal law to provide for special education needs, which are much higher in neighborhood public schools than in charter selective enrollment schools. If you have those students in your school, you have to have classrooms to provide them. And then those classrooms show up on the utilization report, and it's bogus. You all know it's bogus. All right, so what's the result here? They have the money. Right now, there is $1.4 billion controlled by the city, controlled by the mayor in TIF bank accounts. You all pay TIFs. If you pay rent, if you pay property tax, you pay TIFs. TIFs are taxes. They take it, instead of giving it to the Board of Ed, they lie to you. Your tax bill lies. It says you gave $100 to the Board of Ed, you only gave $50 to the Board of Ed, and $50 went to the mayor in a TIF that he gave to Coca-Cola, that he gave to CME, that he gave to Sears, that he gave to companies that are cutting jobs all across Chicago.
And this will be our last speaker of the night. In a kind gesture, you will have 2.5 minutes.
Good evening, gentlemen and people here this evening. I won't be built in front of you very long. My name is Leonard McGee, and I'm from the Gap Community Organization. We would like to better understand the process and understand the utilization and what you mean by that. There's a lot of passionate people here today, and numbers do count. It's ironic that the amount of money that you have to deal with to do schools is less than what it takes to keep a person in prison. And if you have a child that's in St. Charles, it's something like $76,000 a year. If you have somebody in Pontiac, it's like $37,000 or $27,000 a year to educate or keep them there, but to educate somebody, you only get 6. So you've got tough decisions to make. It's hard to come in here and yell at you and not really understand your process. What would really be helpful is to sit down at the table with you as you're making those decisions, and better if you're going to make them, because you're going to close some schools. The question is how you do that, and when you do that, what are the impacts when you do that? And you can't determine the impact until you understand where children are going to be going. And once you determine where children are going to be going, then the issue is how does security play into that? And what is a public offering of education? Are students going to a better school or a worse school? If you go back and read the New York Times in 2011, they talked about the pressure is on in relative to, before we were trying to get the smaller class sizes, long time ago. Now we're trying to get the bigger class sizes, and it's because of money and funding. And the question is, regardless of what size it is, will the child have a better education? And if the child is not getting a better education, the numbers might work, but the child still is at a deficit. And for a very long time, I remember when Renaissance 2010 started, every time you move a child, is one of the most traumatic things you can do. It's just like if you, psychologically they'll tell you, marriage, divorce, moving, relocating, destabilizes a family just as well as destabilizes a child. There's been a lot of destabilization in public school systems. I respect your time, but I thank you, but what we want to do is work with you, not fight you, so we can better understand how to make it work to everyone's best, because there is financial issues, and we do respect that. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our event for the evening.